Hi, my name is Bree and I am the owner of Just Bree Art. My Instagram at Just Bree is kind of a lifestyle / art page, and this last year I got pregnant and I asked people on my Instagram questions they had for my pregnancy. So going kind of from first trimester all the way till where I'm at now, I'm at 38 weeks and a half. And yeah, so just gonna answer some questions, kind of go along with my pregnancy, and this is also just for me to have some documentation of the pregnancy that I've experienced. When I found out I was pregnant, well, one, we were trying, and I think we got pregnant on the first cycle. It might have been the second cycle, because I might have been off on the first. I was looking online of how other people get pregnant. So the OPK sticks, the ovulation sticks, I use those. And then it came with a pack of pregnancy tests, and I took it as soon as I could. I think it was 8 days past ovulation, and it was super, super faint. I showed my husband and he was like, I don't know. And every day I kept testing and seeing it get darker and darker, and it got me really excited. And then you have kind of like, so I was only like 3 weeks pregnant at the time. And then you have weeks of just hoping the pregnancy sticks, worries of miscarriage. And I think we saw the baby at an ultrasound at like 6 weeks, got us really excited. Around 6 weeks is when my cravings and aversions hit. I really craved jalapenos and popcorn, such a weird mix because I hate spicy food, but I like couldn't get enough. And then that's when my morning sickness hit, so my cravings were pretty strong in the sense that I could only eat what my body wanted, and that was a lot of carbs. A lot of women will find that when their nausea hits, at least I've found that when I talk to friends or see other people online, it's bagels. For me, it was like mac and cheese or pasta. Fries were a big thing in my first trimester. And my only aversion, I would say, would be like avocado, which is weird because I loved avocado. I love avocado now. But yeah, first trimester was a doozy because of the whole morning sickness. I think I started throwing up around like 8 or 9 weeks, and I'd throw up probably like 2 times a day. Some days it was worse. If I had a bigger meal, that would be coming back up. My morning sickness didn't end until about 15 weeks, and then, so that's after the first trimester. And then like once a week throughout the whole, like till 17 weeks, just like every Monday I would just throw up randomly. I'd go to a workout and come back, and I'd be driving home and I'd kind of feel weird but not too nauseous, and then I would just like throw up the second I stepped out of the car. So that was really weird for me. But some people asked about my midwife. I am doing a home birth, and my midwife is amazing. She's here on the North Shore. She lives like 5 minutes away from me. She's amazing. I started seeing her at 9 weeks, kind of just saying like, hey, I hope to have a home birth and I hope to have you there. And she's just kind of there to be my support. She takes my blood pressure, does urine samples, she checks the heart rate on the baby. She actually gives me a prenatal massage at every appointment. She's also like a registered masseuse, and she's a doctor, like a naturopath, so she's pretty all around amazing. Yeah, so I've been with her since 9 weeks. We have the birth tub already, just here in the house. I'm low thyroid, I have hypothyroidism, so off the bat I knew I had to manage my thyroid because the baby needs my thyroid to be working correctly. So I am taking thyroid medication, my prenatal, and then my midwife has me on all these like immune building supplements, like garlic, golden seal, echinacea, just some other stuff that really helps me keep my immune system strong. So I got pregnant in November, and that was before coronavirus, so now we're in the middle of it. I was 20 weeks when the whole coronavirus stuff started. I started showing about 20 weeks. I would say like 23 weeks is when people started noticing me in public and asking me if I was pregnant. And when you're first time pregnant, you just get so excited to show because you feel all the symptoms, you know you're pregnant, all you can think about is this baby inside of you, and you just want other people to validate like that you are pregnant. So I was really excited when I started showing enough to be noticed by random people. But I announced on Instagram at 20 weeks. It was really nice to just keep it quiet for a really long time. A lot of my friends kind of had suspicions. It was just nice, but to keep it to myself. Second trimester is when I felt my best. I started getting back pain when the bump started getting heavier, I think like 24 weeks. And I was still doing Pilates. I was still really, really active. And I think just the weight of the bump coming forward, and I already have a huge arch in my back. So for anyone that kind of feels that, get a belt, those supportive belts. Those things help so, so much. Some people kind of asked what I did to mentally prepare for my pregnancy. I would say I read, because I'm kind of going the more unmedicated home birth route, I read Ina May's Guide to Childbirth, and that talks a lot about women going through the experience in the setting that I'm kind of wanting. And it was really, really empowering. I should actually read it again. That was in my first trimester. I should probably pick it up, and there's birth stories in the first like half of the book. That's pretty amazing. I mentally am preparing by meditating every day. I've switched from going from like an app on my phone. Some days I just do nothing. I just sit and have nothing playing, nothing telling me when to meditate. I'll just set a timer for 15 or 20 minutes, sit and meditate and just kind of be with the baby. Or I would extend my yoga practice at home into a meditation afterwards. And now I'm doing hypnobirthing, just kind of a course that I found online, and I'll listen to the tracks either while I'm having this prodromal labor, which I'll get to in a second. But I would say the meditation's been a really great help for my mental awareness and preparedness for the birth. My second trimester, because it was coronavirus, I had to stop taking my group classes. Those were done, and my husband and I were being really, really careful, especially in the beginning, when we weren't sure if we could get sick, if it could affect the baby. So we were really homebodied from March till probably mid-June. Yeah, I rented a Pilates reformer machine, but I slowly stopped working out as hard. I wanted my body to be really loose. I don't want to be too strong for the birth, and that could be controversial, but I didn't do Kegels at all throughout my birth, and I'll update this video after the birth to tell you how it went. But I've just heard so many stories of people being too strong and they tear too much, or they have really long labors. So I'm just really trying to loosen everything up, and it's still, even I went to my chiropractor recently and she said I was still really strong. So I still need to stretch and get my hamstrings loose, my hips loose, but I slowly stopped doing my harder workouts like mid-second trimester. One, because I planned to, but two, because coronavirus. I just couldn't go to my group classes and push myself so hard. Stretch mark prevention, some people have asked about that. I've read it's just genetic, and I know in my family it's kind of hit or miss with each pregnancy. Sometimes my sisters or mom would get them, and then other times they wouldn't. So I'm not too worried. I use coconut butter or cocoa butter after my showers sometimes, but I'm not too worried. Like, if I have stretch marks, I have stretch marks. You're growing like a full-on human in your stomach, so I'm not that concerned if I do get them. So going to the third trimester, that starts at 28 weeks, started my hypnobirthing with the Positive Birth Company. I took a postpartum course, and I'll link all these things that I'm talking about below in the description box or in my blog post. But this postpartum course was done through a girl in Hawaii here, and it talked about everything: breastfeeding and the anatomy of the body, mentally preparing yourself for the time after birth. In pregnancy, we're just constantly being in this pregnant world where everything matters about like growing the baby, but then it's not until the third trimester that you're like, oh my gosh, I have to like prepare for the after part, the part where I need to take care of myself, I need to take care of the baby, I need to learn what the baby needs and wants. At least that's for me, that's how I experienced it. It just didn't hit until the third trimester. So that taking that postpartum course, and I still have it available to take afterwards, is really, really perfect for me. I registered on Amazon for my registry. I had a baby shower online, and then I had an in-person shower when coronavirus cases were down to like 6 on the island. And that was amazing to have an in-person baby shower because I was pretty lonely once coronavirus started. Just friends, we weren't seeing anybody. It was hard to like talk, and when you're pregnant you just want to talk about your pregnancy to your friends and kind of feel this sense of like companionship with other people that have gone through this experience. So yeah, I enjoyed Amazon links because I could see if people ordered stuff, but it also just made sense for me because in Hawaii, everything gets shipped from Amazon. It's really hard to get a lot of stuff. Target here everything can be out of stock. So the Amazon registry was really, really nice. And I will link some of the things that I used in my pregnancy down below, especially from Amazon. Like my pregnancy pillow was amazing. That ball has been coming in handy the last couple weeks. And yeah, whatever I can't think of right now that I used during my pregnancy, I'll make sure to like provide the links for that. So we decided to get the snoo for our baby for the first 6 months. It's a bassinet that they sleep in, and it's supposed to be amazing. There's no cases of SIDS from their customers, so to me that was really important. We have the owlette coming, which I'm excited to try. It's a little sock that shows the oxygen levels and the heart rate and the temperature of the baby that they wear. And just as someone who's experienced anxiety before, who already has anxiety hoping the baby is safe in here, I want to make sure the baby is really safe on the outside. So I might have given into all the expensive tools, but for me it's kind of peace of mind for the baby. Yeah, I got that for the baby, and then for me I got the LV breast pump. I was fortunate enough to have my insurance cover all of it, so that's the wireless breast pump, and that's for me to be painting in the studio downstairs, and I could be pumping while my husband's up here. But yeah, so 2 more things before I end. Kind of in this last couple of weeks of pregnancy, it has been a test of my patience. I have been having prodromal labor since about 35 weeks when it started, maybe 36. And so at first I was like, we were at Costco and we were we were walking around, and I kind of felt like uncomfortable and like kind of in pain, but I was like, no, that's just, maybe I have a stomach ache or something. And then it would go away and I wouldn't even notice that it left, and then it would come back and it would be like, whoa, I felt fine like 2 seconds ago. And that's when I started noticing I was having contractions, and we were standing at the checkout line, and it was getting to the point where I like really had to like breathe, and I kind of had to brace myself, and I was like, what is this? And they calmed down once I sat in the car and drank some water. And that was my first experience like feeling contractions. And then at night they would come back almost like every night at 5 or 6 p.m. And it was hard because I was like, oh, the baby's coming, like this is labor. And on my contraction app they were showing that they were fully coming in, like they'd be like 45 seconds long, 3 or 4 minutes apart, and it would feel really real, and I'd have to breathe through them, and about once a week I keep having these crazy like, okay, I'm going into labor, this is happening, and then it peters off. There was one night like a week ago that it started on a Sunday afternoon and didn't stop until Monday morning. So we have no clue when the baby's gonna get here, but I thought the baby was coming early because of that. And come to find out, you can experience this prodromal labor for like a month before your baby comes. So I'm just hoping my uterus will be strong and ready to give birth, and I'm trying to be patient and mentally okay with all of this. I know the baby will come when the baby's ready. But the prodromal labor has its positives. I'm able to mentally prep and kind of understand, like, whoa, that's what a contraction feels like. I need to figure out my crap. Really get stuff going in the house, making sure it's always clean and feeling ready for the baby kind of at any moment, but also just living in the present. I'm able to really enjoy the time I have with my husband and just know that these are kind of our last few days, just us two before the baby comes. And yeah, and just kind of take the contractions as they come, and hopefully they get like less painful in my brain because I've experienced them before. Carpal tunnel was not a fun symptom to have. I got that I've probably been experiencing that for the last month, but my hands couldn't even like go around a door handle. My knuckles couldn't bend, and they still are pretty sore. I've heard that goes away after the pregnancy. There's just a lot of extra blood flow in the last couple months. Let's see, I stopped surfing at 35 weeks because the prodromal labor started, so we weren't wanting to get labor going too fast. I just tried to surf the other day because now I'm later in my pregnancy and I cannot lay down anymore. I can't paddle. This belly is just straight out. So just tips for any moms that are going through this or watching this because they are also pregnant. Just give yourself grace. Take all the time you need to slow down. Enjoy this, especially if this is your first pregnancy. Like, the next pregnancy that you'll have another baby. So this is like the time that you just get to like be by yourself. It's just you and this little one to bond with, and there's no distractions. So just enjoy this time. But also reach out, ask for help, talk to friends. Like, people are there for you. Another tip, my friends are setting up a meal train. That's kind of like a GoFundMe online, but it's for people to provide meals for you. There's like a calendar. You can see who's dropping off food for the postpartum period. But yeah, just give yourself all the tools you need. Get a prenatal massage once or twice in your pregnancy. Get your nails done throughout your pregnancy, especially towards the end when you can't even reach your feet. But yeah, if you have any questions, drop them below. I'll try to get back to you. And thanks for watching. And I'll be back after the baby's born to tell my birth story.